Good evening, Bronco Nation. What a win. What a beatdown of UNLV. I am Sam from Sam Talk Sports. This is my pop, wish.com Santa, or just pop for short. And we are here to give you some post-game analysis of Boise State UNLV. If you would, and you're watching this, go ahead and give us a like, follow on all our socials on Facebook, X, Instagram, and if you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube and give us that subscribe there and hit the bell so you get notified every time we go live. Bronco Nation updates on all socials will get you to us. So, Pop, how'd you like the game?
I love the game.
Great, lovely, love the back and forth. What was your favorite play of the game coming into it?
Favorite play of the game. I ought to practice on this. Many of them. It'd have to be just the overall defensive play.
It was. Now, we were talking during the game, and you said that you want to make a plea to Bronco Nation. What was that plea for Bronco Nation?
Back during the Denver Broncos heyday, when they were winning all the Super Bowls, they had a defense that literally won the games for them. And that defense they called the Orange Crush. I, oddly enough, became a fan of our defense in our game against Notre Dame. 4 turnovers in Notre Dame, still held them to just 28 points. You look at the kind of play that they're doing. Our defense is a crush defense. I want to name them the Blue Crush.
There you go. So, Bronco Nation, let us know if that's going to stick. If you want to give the defense the nickname the Blue Crush, let us know what you think. We had some really good defensive or fan, I should say, help for our defense as well. Boise State leads the FBS in most false starts per game at 2.74 per game. And tonight we had, or this afternoon, I guess it is in Boise, we had 5 of them. 5 false starts today, so that average is going to go up some, and we still lead the FBS. So good job, fans. I love seeing the full stands. It was really good. I love the new hell for them, home for us. I think that's going to stick going forward, and it's going to be a really, really good thing to go along with Blue Chaos. Offensively, Pop, you liked our defense this game. What do you think of the offense?
Oh, I would like to see the tight ends get a little bit more work. However, our running back core were just up to the task. They actually set up to where they had to give attention to their play action passing, which set up the passes. And I got to tell you, our receiving core, I don't think gets enough credit for being able to catch those underthrown behind the back passes from our quarterback, because they're helping his stats, making some phenomenal catches. And what was that boy's name, Marshall, that laid out and caught that one? That was just that ought to be a highlight reel somewhere.
Hello, Alex. Thanks for joining us. If you would, why don't you go ahead and comment and tell us what your favorite play of the game was, and we will put it up here as well. Yes, and our tight ends, they seem to be getting the short end of the stick, metaphorically speaking. Wagner had one reception for 11 yards, and then Matt Lauder had 1 reception for 6 yards. It is kind of uncharacteristic to not have the tight ends in it, and you got to wonder if the defense know that Boise State's going to be looking for the tight ends, and so they take that tight end spot away. Did you happen to notice any of that today, Pop?
Well, the only thing I could think is maybe the running game was working so well with the tight ends on the blocking side of it that it just never got in the rotation to call their number. I still think you ought to call their number. They're very productive for us. They're always good for that 10 yards or whatever. And, you watch them block and watch the things they do on the lineman kind of tight end work, and they deserve to be able to touch the ball as much as possible.
Yes, I agree. Being a run-first offense, though, and Spencer Danielson has been very adamant about that. We are a run-first offense. do you think that that's probably why they have to stay in to sell the run as opposed to going out and giving away the pass?
Could be. It's um, no, I suppose that I look back at thinking of the other games, and it may be that our tight ends got as much work as they got because we weren't getting the run game quite the way we wanted to. It looked like it came out of the textbook in this game.
Yes.
What we wanted to do in the run game was working.
Yeah, none evident by Dylan Riley getting 201 yards, a career best for him. So, yeah, let me pull that up. Riley, 15 carries, 201 yards, averaging 13.4 yards per carry. Really Aston Genty. And you made a note that if he could stiff arm like Genty, he'd probably have 2 more scores, right?
Yeah, he threw a couple of them out there and whiffed on them. If he'd been able to connect the way Genty did, he'd have went on in for scores.
Yeah. So Cameron Bates, he had a rush for 35 yards and a touchdown and he's really becoming a good utility player. He also had 3 receptions for 54 yards. You think Bates should get more touches, or use sparingly and stick with the main players that we have now?
What is Bates? He freshman, sophomore, or what?
Yes. Cameron Bates out of Mansfield, Texas. He's a sophomore.
You know, the chemistry we've got playing the way they're playing. I don't know that I'd mess with it because you've got your headliners getting out there for those long runs. You got Gaines coming in, gaining them 2-yard first downs or close in touchdowns, and then these other guys filling in, hitting where they hit. Excuse me. I don't know that I mess with the current chemistry.
Yeah, I think being that spot use, it's really going to set him up for the future, the next years. Whenever we lose some of our star receivers, he's going to really be able to step into that role.
Yeah.
If they don't come, you got to wonder too with the transfer portal. Some of these younger players that show promise, you got to wonder if they're not utilized to their best potential, so that the transfer portal doesn't come calling and we lose those big guns later in the year.
It could be. Of course, Boise State tries to foster a culture that keeps their players, portal or not, to where that's why we see so many of them different ones get to play and team effort and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. And last, because I know you got other things you got to do, so I want to get your defensive thought on how well, or not well, I should say, Boise State handled Anthony Calandria. He was 18 of 30, 215 yards, had the 2 touchdowns, the 1 pick six for McCoy, who had a second pick six for this season. And then he also ran the ball 13 times for 87 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, it wasn't the bottle up performance that we were hoping for. Did the defense not learn from Air Force with their mobile and throwing quarterback, or do you think they were just caught by a few big plays here and there that really made the difference?
Yeah, I don't think the stats are an accurate interpretation of how the defense played. Our defensive line was good. It was cohesive. They had the rush off the ends. They pretty much bottled up the inside. They did lose contain on that quarterback a time or two, and I don't think there's anybody in the league the caliber of player that he is that's not going to have him get some of those yards. So I'm not really dissatisfied with their performance. I mean, you look at the score, and we really bend, but we didn't break. Even those long plays that he had didn't end up in him scoring 55 points.
Right.
However, ours did.
Yeah, and they 7 points is on our backup defense. Always like getting them some play time, but you gotta wonder. I always say that from now on we have to blow out the spread.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point the game's over. Yeah, the backups need to get in there and get some action. But you'd think that you'd want to have them do it whenever UNLV puts in their backups after throwing in the flag, just so we can keep that dominance.
Yeah.
So
and then you look at the 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, I know though there was 1 score off the turnover. I don't know if they scored more or on that second one. I don't remember. But even with turnovers like that, we still held it the way that we did.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for Pop. He's going to go take care of some other business, and we are going to go to a quick break, and we will be joined by Nick after the break. Go Broncos.
The Plaza Inn owners, Jason and Selena Jungling, are huge supporters of Boise State. If you've ever watched a game, chances are you've seen them as the superfans, the Flintstones. So let's show them as much support as they've supported Boise State by making the short drive over to Ontario. Enjoy dine in and carry out by giving them a call at 541-889-3550 for homemade breads, pastries, and soups, or check them out on the web at plazainrestaurant.com.
What's up, Nick? How was that game for you today? Was the fan involvement everything you dreamed it would be for today?
I'm feeling mighty fine after that one, and yeah, it was super loud at Albertson Stadium today, so that made me very, very happy.
Yeah, I could hear it through. There was a noticeable difference. Granted, it wasn't raining today either, but there was a noticeable difference in the crowd noise on the TV this week as opposed to last week, even when the game was over and done with. Did the fans stay through the whole game, or did it start trickling out there in the fourth quarter? I couldn't really see the stands much.
You had, it's very common for that upper northeast quad to kind of thin out a little bit, but it wasn't as it wasn't as drastic as the last game. And then after that last touchdown, then you did see some exodus, and I reserve judgment on that kind of stuff. It is, I'm blessed. I get to walk back and forth to the stadium, so I don't have to maneuver in that after game traffic. So I do kind of reserve judgment on that kind of stuff. But yeah, like last week to this week, big difference.
Yeah, what was your favorite play of the game, Nick?
I think my favorite, it wasn't a scoring play. It was that frozen rope that Mad Dog threw, and Chris Marshall caught the ball and then landed on his shoulder. Both the throw and the catch were amazing, and so that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, that was one heck of a catch to have that kind of pain and still hold on to the ball. It reminds me whenever I was in high school, I actually played tight end in high school for a little bit, and I ran a little shoot route to the outside, and I caught the ball, and the second I caught the ball, my head felt like it flew 20 yards down the field, and my body went 15 yards the other way. Mm-hmm. And I popped up, and I can't remember who we were playing, but I remember that coach saying, "How the heck did he hold on to that?" And that's what I was thinking in my head. How did he hold on to that? It's just one of those instincts.
I had the same kind of moment in high school ball as well. It's like I caught the ball and I just got completely plastered, and I kept onto the ball, and I was like, how did I keep that? Because I got rocked, but we got the first down, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah. So this week we do have a new sponsor to add for our team stats. Team stats, get there. Thank you. Let's see. There we go. That's not it either. It's that one. There. Gotta love the glitches, right? It ain't a BNU without the glitch. Yeah. So we're adding KIDO Talk Radio to our team stats. They're helping us. Blue Elevation and KIDO are elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. Find out more, visit blueelevation.org. Really was a blowout on the scoreboard, but the stats say a little bit different, mainly because Boise State was able to bend but not break, and we had the second team in there at the end of the game. UNLV was able to pile on a few extra yards. Boise State 500 and I can't see that far. 558 yards. I'm going to go get my eyes checked, Nick. 558 yards total offense. Really looked like the Boise State old offensively tonight or this afternoon. 264 passing yards, 294 rushing yards. Dylan Riley with a career best 201 yards on the ground. Maddox had the one interception. Sherrod had the one lost fumble. But we really didn't matter. The game was over by the end of the third quarter. Boise State came out, scored 21 unanswered in the third quarter to really push the game out of reach for UNLV. 21 first downs for Boise State. I think this is the first game of the year that Boise State did not win the first down battle, losing 21-22. Penalties were a lot better than tonight, 6 for 37. UNLV had 7 for 45, so we won the penalty battle. And of course, whenever you score so much on defense and so quick on offense, you don't really have the time of possession. Nick, what do you think of the stats? Are they indicative of how the game went, or are the stats a little misleading based on your personal in-game experience?
No, I mean they're not too surprising. I'm not really particularly I don't particularly bag on the refs a lot, but they did make a couple calls that were questionable. So really loving the less amount of penalties. Probably should have had about 2 less because some of those are just I don't understand them. The yards they don't surprise me. We did have some trouble wrapping up, so that it doesn't surprise me that they're up there. And yeah, they did have that one big long run at the end there that probably got a good chunk, but even before that, they were there still was a little bit of struggle with wrapping up and getting those tackles done.
And it looked like whenever we got momentum on defense and was wrapping up and really getting after it, 1 or 2 plays that let them down, and then it was really able to prolong UNLV drives. It seems like if we can wrap up the entire game, then things will be better. And I asked Alex earlier what her favorite game or favorite part of the game, and she says second pick 6 for McCoy. So
yeah, that was awesome. That would probably rank up there because Anthony Calandria was getting rushed. I believe it was JVM, and then so he got that out, and then it's like you're like, yeah, he's getting pressured, and then he throws it out, and just like I said in our pregame, you get him out, you get him off, his game, and that would open up, a opportunity for Marion McCoy to pick that up, and he took it to the house.
Yeah, and it's something that I should have asked Pop whenever he was here, or told him that he was saying, all right, it was at the end of the first half, but it ended up happening in the second half. He says, all right, now we need the out route and the pick 6. And he didn't call it on the drive, but it happened in the game. So that's good. That it's really good to see him getting that. He wasn't really a factor on the stat sheet, but he was a factor in person, the intangibles.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see that he, in the beginning of the game, he was off balance there. He had some emotional breakdowns there, with those two penalties on the goal line. And I was almost thinking he might have potentially been kicked out of the game for that personal foul where he took he ripped the guy's mouthpiece out and threw it. And so it was good to see that he he came back down to center and was able to capitalize on that. So it was awesome.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Anthony Calandria's play for UNLV? 18 to 30 yards, 18 to 30, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, the interception, 13 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. What's your reaction? Stat-wise, it doesn't seem like they handled him that well if you just looked at the stat sheet, but then you look at the scoreboard and like, oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter that the quarterback went off.
Yeah, well, I mean, we spoke about that in our pregame, and he's a dual threat, and that. So it doesn't surprise me, but there was, I think, some of those yards, especially one of the, if I remember correctly, one of those scampers. It was outside of that third quarter where we had already pretty much gone up on them and kind of put it out of reach. So he did get a good chunk of that. So, I mean, that's about status quo. But yeah, he did. What was that? I think that's his 4th interception of the year. So I think he's sitting at 12-4. So I mean, he's a decent quarterback, but it just seems like just with the way the offense was running with the Boise State Broncos, he just didn't have enough today.
Yeah, and you posted that deal up there. I'm gonna repost it there. Memphis lost today to UAB. It kind of makes you wonder what could have been had we won either USF or Notre Dame. Where would Boise State be right now? Especially whenever you see number 5 losing, number 7 Texas Tech lost to Arizona State today, number 10 LSU lost to Vanderbilt today, and then 22 Memphis losing to UAB. It kind of opens the door back up for USF and Tulane and Boise State, especially if we can get a couple more losses by those people. So it kind of makes you wonder, where would we be sitting right now after this win if Notre Dame or USF, either way, our offense showed up in the same manner that our defense showed up instead of literally throwing or fumbling the ball away?
Yeah. If the offense would have been on par just in that USF game, we'd be right now after a dominating win over a 6-0 team. We'd be sitting really, really good. But there's still a lot of games to be played in the AAC, so hopefully a lot of chaos happens.
Yeah.
And in the top 25.
I don't think anybody gave UAB a chance to win that one either. So that really is going to hurt them in the polling. So with Boise State and USF and Notre Dame, at least there was some people saying, oh, well, this could go either way kind of deal. And I don't think anybody gave Boise State the time of day for Notre Dame either. So that loss isn't going to hurt as bad as what this loss for Memphis is. Rushing wise, Boise State did really well, except for that final. That would have held UNLV to not have a 100-yard rusher, except for that final drive where Jalen Glover really took it to the house on our second team defense. Would put them over to the 112-yard mark. 6 carries, 112 yards, no touchdowns. But again, a lot of that came on that final drive for UNLV of the game. Rushing defense wise, you pleased with how the boys performed today?
Oh, for sure, man. Really loving that Dylan Riley is, showing what he can do. Would love to see him, be the starter. He hasn't started yet, and I think he's earned the right to start. And he's the one who kind of, it just kind of took it by the horns, and I love the fact that he's being recognized in the stadium by the media department. They're actually calling him by his nicknames, the Jet, Backburner. So loving this. I'm loving this for Dylan Riley. he's earned this, and he deserves all the recognition that he's getting now.
Yeah. On the defense side, though, for Boise State's rush defense, did you enjoy their performance today, or were they? And all this, I see it on TV, and so I can see the TV and all the replays and everything. You're there in person; you get to see them live and up close. So I like to get that fan experience.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Well, based off of replays, the defense, they could have done this, and that better. But in the moment, that's where you really can understand how a defense is performing.
Yeah, I did like the pressure. The only thing that really, and you saw it, the only thing that's for me that was the struggle was after they got past that first level, just the wrapping up, and most of it was, getting on the outside. I just, I love Marco Notarani, but if the ball carrier is about 5 yards away, there's no way that he's going to catch up. He's just he doesn't have a lot of speed. Though he did have a lot of tackles this week, I believe he finished with 6, and he had 1.5 sacks and 1.5 tackles for loss. Still, that closing in is not his strength, and it's and on some of these big plays, that's really what is being exposed from what I'm seeing as a fan. But I do like, especially on the passing plays. Max Steege was getting in there, the middle of the line. David Latu is getting some pressure in there, so it was collapsing that pocket, and then if Calandria got to the outside and Marco was anytime Marco's around, on the second level and there's a quarterback, it's hard for him to catch him. There's just not a lot of speed.
Yep. Secondary wise, they gave up over 200 yards passing for the first time since Air Force at 215 yards. What was your obviously we had the pick 6 by McCoy and Mickey. He had the sack and then the 2 tackles for losses and the pass deflection. Secondary overall, they really showed up and fought through some injuries. What was your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I thought I thought they did a decent job. A little bit higher than what they've been averaging lately. I think the last time we talked about it's like 180, some change, somewhere around there. There are still a couple times where you see some of these backs not playing the ball. But overall, I'd probably give them an A.
Yeah. It was when we saw Benefield there at the end of the first half. Looks like he didn't think he was in position, but he really was in better position, I think, than what he thought that he was, because all he had to do is keep running and looking at that ball. You got to wonder if he lost the ball in the sun or something and just couldn't find it, so he just turned his attention to the receiver instead of trying to play the ball, because if he could have found that ball, that was a tip at least.
right but and there's often times where he's picking up for one of those receivers gets past coverage, and then so it may have been that he was just picking up and he was just trying to get there as soon as he could, and he just didn't get his lid around to play the ball.
Yeah.
But that got us.
Yep.
Score.
And Jaden Mickey had a pretty good game. Ty Benefield, Jaden Mickey both had 7 tackles for the defense. But your oh, come on, get out of the way. We need a producer. If you're out there and want to be a producer type, give us a follow and help us out. Anyway, your Crosby Custom Coatings Defensive Player of the Game, offering the Treasure Valley and beyond the highest quality repaints on the market at affordable prices since 1978. Email crosbycustompaintings@gmail.com for more information. Your Crosby Custom Coatings Defensive Player of the Game is Jaden Mick. He had 7 tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass deflection. Really covered the competition today. That's your coated. He really coated the competition today. And that's your Crosby Custom Coatings Defensive Player of the Game. Well deserved, Nick.
Oh yeah. Jaden Mickey's quickly becoming a fan favorite. When he's introduced before the game on the big screen, that the cheers continue to get louder and louder. I just wish that he had another year. But yeah, he the last few games that he's played, except for the Notre Dame game, which he was in concussion protocol, he's been very, very dominant. And he's when the tackles kind of break down on the edges as a nickel, he is covering that ground, and he's making them pay. And yeah, he's playing quite dominant.
Yeah, he had a really good game. It makes you wonder what would have happened with Notre Dame if he was there to kind of shore up some of them outside runs that were first downs. They weren't ever game-changing runs, but they were drive-changing runs. You got to wonder how that would happen, how that would have affected the game.
Yep. But yeah, he's certainly making himself known at the nickel, like we saw today. He got in there, got that sack. Also, he's just been sticky. I've been writing these articles about him. When I'm reviewing the game, and it's always he's a great example for the other DBs, and especially in the passing game. When they do catch it, you saw right there he had a tackle for loss, and he's just super sticky. He's great at press coverage, and so I'd really like to see the other fellas kind of model what he's doing. But overall, they're doing great. It's just a couple times where they just need to play the ball instead of the man.
Yeah, and really loved that sack that he had. That was fun to see. He came off the corner and quarterback turned around too late, and I almost thought that Calandria was going to be able to wiggle out of that one. And I'm really glad he didn't, because that was a really solid play and really set the tone for the defense to finish the game out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will look at who our offensive player of the game is, but I'm pretty sure everyone's going to know who it is. If you watch the game, you already know who it is. But we will be back after this.
Elevate your hydration. Unlike ordinary water, boosted oxygen water features unique oxygen composition, providing a higher oxygen content for superior hydration. Experience the next level of hydration with boosted oxygen water, meticulously crafted to invigorate your body with enhanced oxygen content. Ideal for fitness enthusiasts and wellness seekers. This water offers a revitalizing boost that goes beyond ordinary hydration, helping you stay refreshed and energized throughout your active lifestyle. So, if you love the Big Blue, make sure to pick up the blue bottle in your local and online Walmart stores.
All right. We are back with Nick Wade, and I'm Sam of Sam Talk Sports, and we're going to talk a little sports with you. Nick, offensively, our next guy that we're about to talk about, he really dominated the run game, had a bunch of long runs. 65 was his longest run of the night. And your again, if you're a producer type, your organized, experienced offensive player of the game is Dylan Riley, and I'm sorry I don't have a bio for it. I was just looking for it during that commercial break, and I have no clue where it went, but we'll get you back. TheOrganizedExperience.com for more information on the organized experience. Dylan Riley, 15 carries, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, a 15.4 yards per carry along a 65. Really looked like Ashton Genty tonight, minus the stiff arms that Genty's able to do. Impressed? Well-deserved, obviously, Nick. Are you impressed with the in-game performance today?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he went off, I believe he had that 31-yard scamper setting up, that touchdown, Sire Gaines, and really he was the oil for the engine. He only finished with 1 touchdown, but in actuality, he set up about 2 or 3 of them with his performance.
Yeah.
So, he loves to hit those holes, and once he hits those holes, and he's got just a little bit of space, he's got that speed that it's hard to catch up with. And so I'm glad he's on our team.
Right. Yeah. You think he's got the speed of maybe what Sherrod has, the shiftiness to what Genty had, and he's not afraid to take the hit like Sire Gaines. So he's really the 3-headed monster all in one, and really fun to watch run.
Yeah, and the thing I love the most is he's proving me right, because I had that article before the season even began that he was my choice. I thought he was the best weapon that we had to be successful and win games, with his durability and his raw talent, his speed, and in all facets of the game, rushing the ball, receiving, and also covering kickoffs and punts. So he's making me look really good and really smart, and that's hard to do.
Yeah. There's one guy in the game that had more yards than Riley, and he's really, I think, becoming a very quick fan favorite, and that is Mr. Oscar Doyle. Had 3 punts for 100, or he didn't have more yards than Riley, I should say. Sorry. He had 3 punts for 136 yards, but the fan favorite's still the same. Fan favorite. 3 punts, 136 yards, a long of 47 with 1 inside the 20. And then we can't forget, he's 2 for 2 on passing on the year. 1 for 1 today with 11 yards. He's 2 for 2, 21 yards and a touchdown. I mean, have we found our backup quarterback?
Yeah, he's got an unblemished QBR, man.
Other quarterbacks on the team, I mean, there's this other guy, Maddox Madsen. He's 14 of 23, 253 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the interception that was off the tip ball. What was your thoughts on Maddox playing today, and could he have improved anywhere?
My assessment of Mad Dog is, I thought he was efficient, and it's kind of like that's, it's swag, something we always get. Unfortunate on the one pick off of him. Still there was, there was a couple passes that, he's going to miss, but there was a few that he was right on the dime, man.
Yeah.
Where he threw it that only the receiver could catch it, and and the timing on it, the timing on some of those passes and the location of them, I thought were top notch. And he's 18-4 as a starter, 4 touchdowns to 1 interception ratio, and the dub, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah. Chris Marshall had 3 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown with that one over the middle that we talked about earlier. Cameron Bates had 3 receptions with 54 yards. Ben Ford left early in the game with an injury with 1 reception and 26 yards. Sherrod had 2 for 21 and a touchdown. And then Sire Gaines had the 1 20-yard reception for the touchdown. And even Whitlock got in on the I think at one point Maddox had thrown 6 passes to 6 different people. What was your thoughts on the secondary or it's not secondary, the receiving core for this game?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm really concerned about Ben Ford. I hope that it's nothing really major for him. But yeah, he went down, I believe, in the first quarter or early in the first half, and then we didn't see him anymore. I think he had 1 catch for 26 yards, or he had 1 catch for 26 yards, and then we didn't see him any. So I'm very concerned about his availability, because even with the great play from Chris Marshall and Cam Bates, still going to need Ben Ford down the road, especially if things continue to be chaotic in college football, and somehow we're fortunate enough to get in the back door on the CFP, we are going to need all weapons to be available. So we're really concerned about Ben. Also, would really like to see. I think I was listening to you guys before I got on the show about the tight end play. I was really surprised that they didn't go more towards like some of those passes that we see to Louder and Wagner. I do know that I think there was a couple attempts. They just didn't work out. But in some of those that, like that reverse or misdirect that they had to Cam Bates, those kind of take the place of some of those play passes that we've seen before, where they fake the run and then Mad Dog's able to connect with Louder. So I mean that makes sense. But yeah, would like to see that part of the passing game progress as the season goes along, because we're going to need that as well. Like if we, especially if we want to win, if we want to three-peat and defend the title, we're going to need these pieces to really be available and be at our disposal. Otherwise, it just sets things up to where if we have a down game, then we've seen that twice now in the season where that's not worked out in our favor on the offensive side of things. You're muted, I think.
Between our tight ends, Louder and Wagner and Louder, 2 receptions, 17 yards. You got to wonder if that's by design, so people are, because Boise State's always used tight ends. So you got to wonder if that's by design, so people get off of our tight ends, so we're able to use them late season whenever people aren't really preparing for them anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Just the play calls that they had, just kind of just glossed over what we've been used to seeing when the running game's really clicking.
Yeah. Sitting here trying to fix my whitewashed face right now. I can't. I don't know. It's the worst it's been. I don't know what's up with it. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Again, if you're a producer type and you want to come on and help us out. All right. Special teams wise, Nick, we really didn't have, outside of the one fumble for Sherrod. Look at there. It didn't really hurt us this game. It didn't hurt us against New Mexico. We didn't get the kickoff return for a touchdown or a punt or anything returned for a touchdown. Granted, the muffed return by Sherrod did end up in points being scored. Happy, not happy with special teams?
I've been writing about these games, and it seems like this is an ongoing trend where there's a flub on special teams, and we really need Coach Collins to get this thing taken care of it, because it's just one play away from being in a tight game, and we've seen it before.
Yep.
Where Oregon, yep. It's just a matter of time before that really bites us in the ass, and then we're going to lose a game because of it. And that there were right before that that fumble. It's like there were like two plays that really it could have swung the game, but fortunately the defense kind of bailed us out on that one. And we can't keep doing this. It can't be it seems like it's almost every week that we're talking about either a mental mistake on special teams or where it's just lack of preparation and covering a kick. So really that's concerning to me. It went from early in the season where the major concern was with the kicking game because it was just basically unproven, to now probably the weak link in the whole team is our special teams.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it doesn't hurt us in a close game if we get one. We got a big one next week in San Diego State. It's a must win. So every game is a must win if we want a chance in the CFP. But the most important thing about tonight is 17,879 days since Boise State lost to UNLV, and the streak continues. So, well, we'll take another quick break, and then whenever we come back, we will go over our team stats and offensive and defensive player of the games one last time and take a quick glimpse at next week and go from there.
Looking for a healthy change? Just breathe and let the Organized Experience help you embrace change. The Organized Experience team masters the art of helping people find freedom through decluttering, organizing, and creating organizing systems. So if you're looking for a healthy change in 2025, give the Organized Experience team the opportunity to help you. Please visit their website at theorganizedexperience.com.
All right. Your Blue Elevation and KIDO talk show or talk radio game stats, elevating Bronco sports through fans like you. To find out more, visit www.blueelevation.org and have a listen to KIDO talk radio. Nick, what time are you on every week?
Yeah, you guys can in this or not. On Fridays at 7:30 Mountain Time on 580 AM or 107.5 FM locally, or if you're outside of the Treasure Valley, download the app. It's KIDO Talk Radio, and it's available in both Google Play and in the Apple Store for free.
Oh, nice. Your team stats: Boise State 558 total yards, 264 passing, 11 passing yards or 11 yards per pass, 1 interception that was tipped, 1 lost fumble on the muff, 294 rushing yards, 8.9 yards per rush. The rushing game was really strong today. 8.9 yards per rush, 21 first downs. Penalties were a lot better today, under 50, 6 for 37, and held the ball for 27 minutes and 53 seconds. For UNLV, They had 476 total yards, 215 passing, 7.2 yards per pass, 1 interception, no lost fumbles, 261 yards on the ground, 6.5 yards per rush, 22 first downs. The first time this year Boise State's lost the first down battle. UNLV had 7 penalties for 45 yards and held the ball for 32 minutes and 7 seconds, en route to Boise State winning 56-31 and covering the spread. It's impressive showing on both offense and defense. Don't let the stats fool you. This game was Boise State's from start to finish.
That it was.
And then you're the Organized Experience Offensive Player of the Game. I apologize for no bio, but theorganizedexperience.com for more information. Dylan Riley had 15 carries, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, 13.4 yards per carry with a long of 65. Really looked like Ashton Genty running back there. Really deserving of this. 201 yards is his career high as well. Our line really opened up some holes tonight, not just for Riley, but for everybody.
Yep, impressive. 13.4 run yards per carry. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then your Crosby Custom Coatings Defensive Player of the Game, offering the Treasure Valley and beyond the highest quality repaints on the market at affordable prices since 1979. Email crosbycustompainting@gmail.com for more information. Your Crosby Custom Coatings Defensive Player of the Game is Jaden Mickey, coating the competition with 7 tackles, 4 of them solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and the pass deflection. He really had himself a game in the secondary, and I really look forward to seeing more of his play throughout the season now that he's back 100% healthy out of the concussion protocol and really wreaking havoc back there for us.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to just continue to improve, especially with the opponent we have coming up next week.
Yep. And he really could find himself draft day, especially if he keeps up on this uphill trajectory that he's on. He went from backup to full-blown, let's go. We need him to win. So, Nick, what are your final thoughts on the game today?
Good job, Bronco Nation. It was really awesome. I don't know if you all caught it, but there were some updates sent out, not only on how full Albertson Stadium was, how blacked out it was, but also, being the 12th man and causing some much needed false starts. And some of those were, they were drive killers, and that it really helped out. You look at the score, and that's because you, Bronco Nation, you brought it, and you guys you brought the chaos. And but other than that, it just you can see what is possible when the tone is set with the running game. And it all starts with Dylan Riley, the Jet, back burner. Again, I think he's earned that starting role. And as long as the Broncos on offense can get going with the running game, that offense can cruise, and can overcome losing the turnover battle like we did today. When the offense is doing stuff like that, and the defense again is really one of our, probably is the strength of the team, and stopping the opponent's running game. They're doing a pretty good job at doing that, and then the secondary is continuing to progress and getting turnovers of their own. And when they do that, we have a good chance of winning. So today overall was a great showing. I would say it's probably about an A do want to see some of those tackles, those arm tackles go away, and then I want to see some textbook tackling and just really some fundamental play instead of the alligator arms. So, but overall, A+ or A for me on this game, and A+ for Bronco Nation.
Yes. And your Lady Broncos volleyball team, they are in action right now over at the Bronco gym. So if you're not over there now, your football ticket gets you in for free. So go and bring the chaos and help the ladies beat an undefeated Utah State. Nick, do you have an update on that one by any chance?
Yeah, they unfortunately they are down 2 sets to zip. Utah State is a very good team. They're 7-0 in conference. So yeah, they've got an uphill climb. I've seen them do it. I've seen them go down 2 and claw back and win these things. But yeah, that's a really good team, and I expect as the conference play runs its course this season that it'll probably be a contender against them later on down the road, and trying to rip the regular season title from them or meet them in the conference tournament. And so, yeah, they're just a tough team.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time. Do you have any updates on how our softball team did today against Oregon and Eastern Oregon?
Unfortunately, I don't, and that's kind of how it goes with the softball team. It's really, there's not even really a lot of updates from the official Bronco Sports outlets on X and stuff. You really don't get a lot of updates on those.
Yeah. It sounds like fall ball for softball is basically just a season of exhibition games.
Yeah, I've kind of followed suit. I know we saw the Boise State men's basketball team won yesterday. I'll watch as a fan, but I really don't report on exhibition games.
Were you able to go to that one?
I wasn't, but I did catch it on TV, and Drew Fielder is the real deal. He's pretty good, and he had 24 points left.
Did they do that second quarter deal with the bench players?
They did it, but that wasn't televised, so the people at the ICA got to enjoy that. But Dylan Andrews, he wasn't suited up, so he didn't play, so we didn't get to see him. But Drew Fielder did. Dude is a baller. That's why it's great to get players from Georgetown like that, and I'm excited to see what Dylan Andrews does too, because he was just like Drew Fielder was at Georgetown. Dylan Andrews was a regular contributor at UCLA as well. So very optimistic for the basketball team, man.
Yeah. Right now, kind of around college sports, Taylor Green just took a 20-yard sack playing against A&M. Arkansas is down by 10 with 6 minutes to play in that game. Let's see. Green is 14 of 23, 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he has, I think, he's less than 100 yards on the ground. So some Bronco action there. I don't know if Arkansas is going to pull that one out with only 6 minutes left, but they've done worse. Washington State is currently beating Virginia, number 18 Virginia, 17-7. Third quarter just started there. Texas has a 7-point lead over Kentucky right now. It looks like the second half is coming to an end. Penn State losing to Iowa 7-10, and then UCLA and Maryland. UCLA is trying to turn their season around. There is a scenario where they win out and they could actually be the Big Ten champion. That would be an absolute unbelievable feat, and you got to wonder if that happens, if their interim head coach will get the full-time gig, because if you can go from 0-4 to Big Ten champion, you deserve that gig.
Yeah.
Hawaii's beating Colorado State at halftime, 14-7. Alabama is up on Tennessee early in the second quarter, 7-0. And then 10 minutes to go in the second, Notre Dame's up 14-10 on USC. Go Notre Dame. It doesn't look like we're going to get the same kind of UAB help for South Florida, as Florida Atlantic's losing 3-21 in the second quarter. Auburn is beating number 16 Missouri as the first quarter winds down, and they have the ball as well, 7-3. And the Holy War is winding down in the first quarter as number 23 Utah and number 15 BYU are knotted at 0. At 8:45 Central Time, New Mexico plays Nevada at home. So if you want a nightcap, this game's going to start here in about an hour. If you want something to watch that's not any of the other sports or any of the other teams, I should say. Ohio State had no problem with Wisconsin, blanking them 34-0. Number 3 Indiana handled Michigan State 38-13. Georgia took down number 5 Ole Miss, handing them their first loss, scoring 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win 43-35. Arizona
State Atlanta to do.
Yeah. Arizona State knocked off number 7 Texas Tech in a huge surprise. I didn't see that one coming. 26-22. Number 17 Vanderbilt upset number 10 LSU 31-24. Number 12 Georgia Tech had a little issue with Duke early, but was able to pull away late, 27-18. Oklahoma handled South Carolina 26-7, and UAB with the upset of the day beat Memphis. Let me rephrase that. Probably the second. No, it's got to be the upset of the day so far, beating Memphis 31-24. Michigan beat Washington pretty handedly 24-7. They'll likely be ranked again come this week with all the upsets we've had and ranked teams losing.
With the 2-loss team.
Yep. Tulane did beat Army 24-17. We were kind of hoping Army would do that, do us the honor of knocking Tulane down a notch, but that didn't happen. And Air Force did beat Wyoming today, 24-21 at home. Let's see, what did Sarka do through the air? Well, they went back to run only. Only 3 of 8 for 33 yards for Air Force, and Sarka had 26 carries, 141 yards, and a touchdown. So Air Force's pass offense has gone dormant. Let's see. App State lost to Coastal Carolina, shockingly. I did not think that was going to happen, 45-37. Old Dominion got blown out by James Madison. That's not good for Boise State. We need James Madison to lose at least one more to make sure they don't sneak in as well. James Madison won 63-27. Texas State lost in 2 overtimes. Our future Big 12 or Pac-12 foe. They lost 40-37 to Marshall in 2 overtimes. That was probably a good game to watch. I did not get to watch it though. North Texas did beat UTSA 55-17. Rebounded after their loss to USF, and that rounds out your scoreboard for today. Liberty beat New Mexico State 30-27, but they're no longer a threat for CFP. Just throwing that out there for all you that think that they might still be able to have a chance. They don't. And then probably the most shocking upset of the week is number 2 Miami losing to Louisville 24-21 at home. So that was gut wrenching for Miami, I'm sure.
ACC each other.
Yep. And then Minnesota knocked off number 25 Nebraska 24-6, and Utah State beat San Jose State 30-25. So a lot of upsets today. Thank God Boise State wasn't one of them. Let's see. Let's count them out real quick. Texas A&M is going to escape Arkansas, it looks like. Oregon's not going to have an issue. We'll see what Virginia can do. Texas is running behind. They're going to have one between Tennessee and Alabama, one between USC and Notre Dame. Let's see. You're going to have one between Utah and BYU. You got Ole Miss lost, LSU lost, Memphis lost, Miami lost, Nebraska. Eight top 25 teams for the second week in a row have fallen. So, bad year for Boise State to have two really bad games. So, Nick, we've got San Diego State, I believe, is next on the docket. We'll get
Nevada.
to Nevada. You're right. San Diego State's 2 weeks away. I'm looking ahead. Nevada's next on the docket, and we all know how Nevada likes to ruin our mojo. So we need to really take it to them and not overlook them, because we do have San Diego State after that. Correct?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So as long as we don't overlook Nevada on our way to San Diego State, then should be good. San Diego State's got a dogfight next week, though, against Fresno State, so they could be a 2-loss team by the time we play them.
Yep.
So that'll be a good game to watch.
Yeah. But with the state that Nevada's in, I'm not overly concerned. I'm concerned more for our fans, that are visiting fans that'll be in the stands over there, because they can be obnoxious and just plain rude. But yeah, just look forward to my review of today's game. Perhaps it'll hit tomorrow, and then I'll do a preview article for the Boise State Nevada game, probably hitting Tuesday or Wednesday. And then also, as usual, we'll hit the preview on Thursday night, and maybe you can find some somebody on the other side for your football and chill.
Yep. So I'm going to wrap up here, Nick. You have any final words you want to say? I am in a thunderstorm that may be tornado warned here shortly. You can probably hear it on the tin roof.
Yeah.
So you have any? It was a great game, great fun watching it. You could really tell the fans were in it this time. Beautiful sunny day in Boise. The outcome was great. Is there anything you want to add to tonight? As I get the Texas weather is chiming in.
I want you to be safe, and I want to thank Bronco Nation for showing up. Continue to do that. Let's continue to fill the stadium and be the 12th man. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it out. Share this broadcast out. The post game has been a great one. I really appreciate Sam for always jumping in on my way back from the game. He does an awesome job. So help support what we're doing. We're trying to rev share with the school with all of our platforms. So go to BroncoNationUpdates.com. There you can find our. I've reworked the website. You can find our nonprofit there. You can find Serving Bronco Nation there for all you businesses. So it's going to be an easy access to the directory. It's all consolidated into one place. So it's going to be awesome. Let us advertise for you if you're a small business or an entrepreneur. Love to help you. But again, thank you, Bronco Nation. And again, let's continue to, as a fan base, raise our fandom to those championship caliber levels that the boys need to back them, or any of the teams need Bronco Nation to back them. It really helps them, and it really pumps them up, and it'll give them the leverage they need to win these games. But until next time, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Bronco Nation. Thank you, Broncos, for the great win and entertainment today. As always,
I gotta jump in here real quick. Fresno State is next week, then San Diego State, or Nevada, Fresno, then San Diego State. So
okay, all right.
There we go.
All right, but until next time, bleed blue, go Broncos.
Hi, I'm Ron Dorn. I'm president of Blue Elevation. A lot of you have probably heard of it and are other sites like Bronco Nation Updates, and I just want to talk a little bit about Boise State football and what we're trying to do to help move the team forward. It's a lot of fun to work with them, but as you know, with the upheaval in college football and the NIL money, we're always needing more, and we're trying to do that by giving more news to you than you can get in other sources, and events that you might be able to attend. And we would just love to see your support, additional support for Boise State, so we can take this to the next level, especially moving into the Pac-12. I see such a bright future for us by doing this. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember when we had wooden bleachers and we did rodeos in the stadium, and we had good coaches and we were doing the best we can with what we had. These coaches need that continuated support to make it happen for us. You can see what we've done with what little we've had, but we really need the help, and we just need the commitment, and we need you to get involved with us to push the Boise State program forward. Again, especially going to the Pac-12, and especially the futures out there, and what the basketball team is doing, the women's softball team is doing, and some other sports that I follow. We just want to keep you involved and focused and helping us out any way that you can do that to support our university.